Ben Nevis itself and Glen Nevis is still my favourite place in the world. I actually moved to stay at the foot of the Glen about 10 years ago, and I've lived in the area ever since, and I never tire of climbing there. In Glen Nevis you have this absolutely stunning scenery that's just so nice to spend time in, no matter what the season is. Just the variety of climbing in such a small space, you just don't get anywhere else in the UK, and maybe arguably the world as well, because you have really high quality and standard winter climbing up on Ben Nevis. But in Glen Nevis you have everything from 9A sport climbs, a whole array of trad climbs of all different characters, and amazing boulders as well. Much is it? And I just had this kind of spark of an idea to try and do a climb from each climbing discipline in one day. And just the obvious thing that came to mind was all the 8s. One of the holds has got a huge chunk of ice on it. As soon as I kind of thought of it, it was just set as a seed in my mind, and I just couldn't let it go. I can't believe it. The 24-8 is all the grade 8s in a day. So it's 48A boulder problem, an E8 trad route, an 8A sport route, a grade 8 winter route, and 8 Monroes in 24 hours. I first came to Glen Nevis when I was about 17. I'd only been climbing a couple of years. I just kind of got stuck in and started to repeat a lot of the harder routes that were there. One of the main triggers that made me move here was I had a trad project up on Ben Nevis called Echo Wall, and that really sealed my personal relationship to Ben Nevis. So the 24-8, yeah, it was years ago now that I thought of it. The problem with it is that it's so rarely in condition. I reckon in the past 10 years it's probably been in condition 4 or 5 days. So you have to be a higher standard climber than the grade. Each climb has to be quite easy for you, and if it's not, you would just fail. The light was just starting to break, and there was no clouds in the sky at all. It was slightly warmer than forecast, just hovering on 0. So as I was driving up Glen Nevis, I was just kind of excited, and I guess kind of apprehensive about how it was going to go. But I thought, well, the whole thing is so unlikely that what's the point in worrying about it being unlikely to succeed? Like, of course you're unlikely to succeed. That's the nature of the challenge. So you start going across this roof, and that's not too bad. And then it's really when you get to the lip of the roof, you have to move around to the left on these really small crimps. The crucial part is you get this crimp with your left hand on the left wall.
Nice one, mate.
You get a heel hook round the right hand side of the arete, and then you do this lunge to the jug.
Hey Steve, come on. Ah! Come on.
I had that split second where I could feel my feet swinging away behind me. Oh, there's no way I was letting go of that jug.
Good man.
Yes! Right, game on. Let's go! Woo! We are at the bottom of Misadventure, which is an E8 of mine. This is second route of the day. Kev Shields is an amazing climbing partner to be out, especially on these serious routes. He said, "Oh, I'll come out and hold a rope on the rock routes." That was just exactly what you want. You kind of run it out around the arete, away from the gear, and if you fall from that point, you're going to fall down and swing into the corner below and slam off the left wall of the corner. If you're going to commit, the worst place you can be is having committed and then mid-route having a discussion with yourself whether you are really committed. You've got to have that discussion with yourself before you start. I just stood on the ledge until I was ready, and then just switched off my brain and just went for it. And it kind of culminates in like some slaps round the corner to get to this rounded break. What's there?
I'll go in it. Good, Dave.
And then you have to do this heel hook move. It's hard to feel if your heel's in the right spot.
Nicely done, Mont.
The good thing about it is it's over quickly. You know, you leave the ledge, you blast up the arete, and there's no time to stop or think. You're either doing it or you're not doing it.
Good, mate.
But the whole theme of the day was like, first try, no hesitation, no second try, just do it now. So after the trad, we went straight to Steel Hut Crag up in the Steel Gorge, and I did Leopold, which is the 8A Sport route. We had the warm morning sun for the first time, which was just really nice. I had already put the clips in Leopold, so I was able to just turn up, put my rock shoes on, tie in, and just start right up it. I've done Leopold to past its crux like 100 times. I have a 9A that took me many attempts to do that starts up Leopold, so I know the move really well. So I was able to just go up it really quickly. When I got to the top part, some of the keyholes were completely encased in icicles. So I kind of looked up and I was like, oh, right, that hole's covered in ice, what am I going to do? Oh, one of the holes has got a huge chunk of ice on it. Oh, the foot's got ice on it as well. Okay, brilliant. That was great. Had to improvise my sequence a wee bit. There was a big chunk of ice coming out one of the holes. But otherwise, just fine. 3 down, 2 to go. It's not even 9 in the morning. Yes. We're halfway up Ben Nevis. We're just coming up the backside from Steel. It's a stunning morning. I can't believe the weather's perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. I've still got an hour 45 until I meet Ian to start the winter route. I'm glad that I'm climbing with Ian, because if there's anyone who'll get up anything in winter, it's Ian Small. So that's good. So we crossed Milkuvan and went up to the shoulder of Ben Nevis on the Carmel Jerriga Arete, over the summit, down Observatory Gully, and then I met Ian Small at the base of the winter route. So, just at the top of Tower Gully, on the top of the bend, just before 12, and I'm just going to down climb, go meet Ian Small and do the winter route. It's the winter route that can really suck up the time. That could make you fail on it. Even if you did it, it could make you fail on it just by taking hours and hours and hours. Frosty's Vigil is 3 pitches. The first pitch was okay. The second pitch is like 7-8 maybe, and Ian led that pitch. But this top pitch was like a real source of uncertainty in my mind. It could either have no ice, or sometimes it ices up. You could climb it almost as an ice pitch. But if it was somewhere in between, that would be a real problem. In the end, when I stepped out from the beelie, you like traverse right across this steep wall. And I did a couple of moves on thin hooks, and then I just reached around the corner and just placed my tool, and it just was like thunk into good ice. And as I moved up it, it just went really well. The sections that didn't have ice had really good rock gear, but then these icicles that I was climbing between were just actually pretty good ice. When I stepped onto the final icicle up the head wall, it was like really exposed, really brilliant. With every placement, it just felt like, this is going to happen, this is actually going to happen. I did start to really enjoy it.
Safe, Ian!
6 o'clock in the evening, we were stood on top of the Ben. I left Ian Small behind and continued with Kevin Woods across the Munros. So that's Ben Nevis, the Annex, and then the Grey Corries. So we're on the top of the Ben. So far today, we've done a 40 boulder problem, an E8 trad route, an 80 sport route, and a grade 8 winter route. And now, well, we've just done a Munro, Ben Nevis, and we've got 7 more to go. I think it's about 5:30 or so. The sun's still up, it's still a beautiful day, and we're off for a big walk. Here we go. The sun was starting to go down, so it was just great to just jog around the Carmargerrig Arret. We were able to do it in this absolutely stunning sunset. It was just brilliant, brilliant feeling. Can't believe we're here, honestly can't believe we're here. Yeah, my best day in the hills for 10 years, I think. We went down between Carmargerrig and the Annex and came back up Anneck Moor, and that was going to be a big climb. Head down, blast up it. But even once we got up on Anneck Moor, there was still some amazing light left in the sky, so it almost got dark, but across the whole western horizon, there's this amazing red, deep red light, which was just fantastic. Anneck Moor. Whose idea was it to do Munros again? Good question. Both myself and Kevin were really dehydrated. I knew at some point the fatigue is going to kick in and you're going to start to get into that marching mode. You want to stop, but you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Number 7, stop Connor Cloudy.
Getting there.
Getting there.
Pretty exhausted now though. Trying to drink ice. So it must have been about midnight when we went up Stob Corrie Cloudy and then went down to reach Stob Ban, which is the last Munro. I can't believe it. That was the end of the 24/8 challenge.
That was wild.
Oh, what a brilliant day. I'm just too tired to feel. And then we headed down into the Larag Lechi and walked about 10k straight back out to my house. It's sometime after 4 in the morning. Been on the go for about 24 hours and I'm really tired. I'm only about 5 minutes walk from my house, which is just on the other side of the River Speen. So last hurdle of the day, just have to wade through the river. It really brings home that all that climbing is there, but it's so close to home. You know, it's literally right on your doorstep. And yeah, I mean that's one of the main reasons why I live in this place, because there is all of that variety, but it's all just right there. It's brilliant.